It's January 15th, 2026, and this has been the move that we were expecting in gold and the gold miners. Now, if you've been following the channel for any amount of time, you know that I've been bullish on these gold miners for a long time. I was very long into this breakout, and I started selling somewhere in up here, and I sold a lot up here. And with the GDX right underneath 100, I think I'm done selling. Now, the only reason that I was selling is because I had 90% of everything I've ever made in the gold miners, and this was a lot of risk. With the 200-day moving average being at about 64.5, I do not want to see any of my gains get eaten away if we start coming back into this kind of a move down to the 200-day moving average before we resume some kind of a move up. And where do we go from here? Well, me personally, I've got about only 25% of my money in the gold miners still, and I think I am going to play it something like this. As long as we keep kind of grinding higher here, maybe some kind of a move up, I'm going to stay long. But if we get any kind of a move down, call it, I don't know, something like this, if we get that, I'll be okay. But if it starts to go, rather this, right? If it starts to come down into here, back into 80, listen, I'm going to cut loose another half of what I got, so then I'll be down to 10% long. Maybe it'll come right down to the 200 and do a nice, cute bounce up. But for right now, I do want to just watch. I think this is our play right here. So I would expect all this to be well and good, some kind of chopping around in here. Again, the problem becomes, what do we do if we start to fall into this area here? Look, there's this kind of breakout level that existed right here. There's obviously, and that's a strong one. It goes back to this really pivot kind of move right here. Okay, so yeah, if we get a move down right beneath this white kind of channel that is just going up now, and it's following silver. These are the gold miners. If this comes in, I'm not going to be so eager to sell. Maybe I'll sell a tiny bit here to avoid if it does this, right? I'm not sticking around for that. But I'll sell a tiny bit here in case we just do a snapback into 100. Then if we go a little bit further down, then I'll sell a little bit more right under here, okay? But then you also got this 50-day moving average that's just kind of moving up here. So that would be pretty dumb to sell right into this 50-day moving average, right? If we come right into the 50-day, that would be a dumb place to sell. So how about this? I'm thinking I got two spots. One is this 20-day moving average, okay? I'm going to do a little bit of a sell beneath that. And then another one is this 50-day moving average, right? This darker blue one, okay? And if we get, I'm going to do a little stop beneath that, somewhere beneath there. And then I will look to only try and buy that back as we get into this 200-day moving average. And that's going to be coinciding with a lot of general market weakness. Gold could get slammed. Anything that would bring this all the way in to the 200 is going to be a pretty gnarly move in the markets. I don't want to stick around with 20% of my money in gold for this move. I'm just kind of scenario modeling this so I can be prepared to do what's necessary to both lock in profits and also keep some position on if it's just kind of a shakeout. I mean, look, I got shaken out for, somewhere in, right here, because I didn't want to take a move down to the 200, right? But that was okay. I mean, I was, again, 90% long gold since 2023. And it was, I mean, I don't say life-altering wealth, but it was enough gain that I now have options on what to do with my life, okay? That's all I ever wanted out of this gold move. And hopefully for anyone that's paying attention to this, I mean, I don't know, I hope you guys got some of this move up here, really this whole thing since 2023. If you go back and look into the older videos I've got, I mean, I was showing everyone all of this since the beginning, my thinking, how I look at these volume clusters of green right here. I mean, to just see the bullishness and kind of ride this wall of worry higher, you know. I look for all of this stuff. The market kind of tells you what it's doing. You get this and this, and these moves are, you know, I mean, yeah, you take a hit, but you don't want to be selling down here when you get these moves. These pop outs right here where they pop out of the Bollinger Band. I know I sold some of the ASA there, and I felt like a genius, you know, as it comes in. You feel like the ASA I've got felt like really smart as it comes in, but then by the time it just kind of pops back up, I mean, you know, I didn't buy any back down here. I don't recall. No, I didn't buy anything down here. I was just so big into gold that I wanted to reduce my exposure and lock in the gains is what I saw transpiring, what I envisioned transpiring back in 2023 was actually happening. So I don't know. If anyone followed along, I mean, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear if you made any money on this. And if you didn't and you're watching this gold move just grind higher without you, you know, I would encourage you go back to my older videos and look at them and kind of see how I was talking about the gold market from 2022, 2023, somewhere around there. Maybe even earlier, 2021. The gold was setting up then and giving these a lot of false starts and fits and everything. But I wish everyone that is following this channel would have the same success that I've had. I got lucky. I'm not particularly bright. I guess I'm of average intelligence. And if I can figure this stuff out, you know, anybody can figure this stuff out. You just got to follow the rules. There are rules of trading that allow you to get these moves. And I didn't even do it perfectly. I mean, you know, I was selling, again, all the way up here, but I was selling small and I was big. So, I mean, this was a mistake to sell here, obviously, because it continued to go higher. It was a mistake to sell here because it went higher. You know, even selling here was a mistake. It didn't feel so several days later. But ultimately, yeah, I don't wish I would have kept the whole position because that would be terrifying. It was a really, really brutal summer. And this fall, all the way through here, I mean, I had the good fortune, and because of the hard work I put into this trade over the past couple of years, I had the good fortune during this time period to make some pretty big life decisions. And, you know, I'm telling you as motivation, if you're watching this, you can do it. I did it, and there is literally nothing special about me. I spent over 10 years frustrated and struggling at this and buying tops and selling bottoms and doing all the wrong stuff until I just learned to see, I mean, these moves, you know, these structures, these price structures, and then you get the breakout, right? That's what you're looking for. And I'm going to tell you what, this moment, after this false breakout, if you can see it right there, it kind of gave you a little teaser and then drifted back in. That drifting down right there is some of the most anxiety-producing price action when you're mega long. You can't, this move is nothing. It's literally, it's just nothing. Look at that. Looking back on it, but I have it in my trading journal. I mean, you can use anything, write it down, or you keep a trading journal that goes back, and I use it. I have one that's just my emotional response to what's going on. And this, looking back on it, I was almost psychotic in this little time period right here. And even when we got the lift out, I mean, I was doubting this move and doubting and then freaking out here. Maybe it's over. Maybe we get the correction back, you know. And then it just kind of floated higher. No one can prepare you for this breakout or this compression, you know, rather this compression and then the breakout. No one can prepare you for that when you've got lots and lots of money on the line. All you can do is trust in your analysis. So we look at the price structure, we look at this RSI that's flattening out, right? I'm going to tell you the fundamentals in this price structure. Again, embed this into your mind. You can break it down in kind of like that if you want, but really it's just this price structure, kind of you can see it, and you'll see this everywhere now. It's kind of like that, but it's especially that flat part right there, and then the breakout, okay? That's what you're looking for, and then you want to see that increase in volume on the breakout, okay? You want to see this low volume as it drifts into the right side. These spikes aren't ideal, those big red spikes, but you know, if you've got this RSI, you want it elevated and then kind of flattening out as well, almost. At least that better RSI would be like if it looked like this the whole way, you know, if it looked like that up through here into the breakout, you know, if it looked like something like that, that's textbook picture perfect, but you don't always get that. So again, let me know if you guys got in any of this. I would love to hear it, actually. Please do. And other than that, the best of luck in here. If you are long this gold, yeah, like I said, keep it as long as it's riding this. And as soon as this changes, then we'll have to change our behavior and maybe not be so long. But if you're looking to buy it, I would look for a spot maybe at 85, but obviously, you know, you're going to have to keep that kind of tight. Well, maybe that's too tight. Maybe below the 50-day moving average. So if it gets, but then you got this $80 figure right here. So, you know, the old drift down right beneath the stop and then pop higher. So that's where you're going to run into trouble if you're trying to set these logical stops right here. So maybe you just keep it clean. Look, this is the problem. Right here, it's got this stop. This is your last low. So ideally, you'd want to keep a stop right beneath it, but then you've got this 50-day moving average, you know, right in here. So that's not a great place for a stop. It's pretty tough to look to get long into this now. I don't know. And plus, look, there's guys like me who've been long for 2 years. We're now selling into this, you know. So I don't know who's buying here. In fact, I'm kind of afraid of the company that's buying up here, new positions, you know. So listen, if you're not already in this, but you want to be, because I do think this, by the way, pops up every 4 p.m. I use it every day. I'll track the advancers, decliners, the total volume, so I can see, and I'll make little notes down here for whether it's a distribution day or whatever's going on. And this helps when you can see, you know, things like the new lows. The ones that I've seen that actually only help in determining market direction are when these new highs, you'll kind of see them drift down as, see that 350, you know, you'd see these new highs on the NASDAQ more than the NYSE. Those new highs drift down as the market might be like grinding higher, you know, if the market's going like up and you see these new highs coming down, that's an indication that you better start taking profits because all declines, I usually see them, they're preceded by some action like this. But hey, and that's another idea if that would be helpful to anyone, for me to do a video on how to track this to determine market direction. Let me know again in the comments, because I tried following the IBD, William O'Neill's, his market direction with distribution days. It simply doesn't work for me. I don't know how anyone can use that. It's just not something that I find useful. So I had to come up with this method myself, and it works good for me. If it's something you want me to do a video tutorial on, by all means, let me know. But getting back to the gold, yeah, it's going to be hard if you're not already long this thing. So just keep it tight if you want to get long. I do think gold has got a lot more to go. As long as we're riding this channel, you know, keep it tight, keep it small, maybe a little back off and a pull up. Expect this kind of stuff to happen. But don't be surprised if we get a big pullback to the 200 either, in which case we'll have a totally different trade in front of us and we'll have to reassess the situation as it comes down to it. But if you've made it this far in the video, please do let me know if you've been watching any of my older videos and you made any kind of money in this gold move. I hope you did. I hope it was worth it. It was a long, hard pull for me to stay long into this, and I guess now I did it. I mean, it was hard. I'm still kind of processing what it all means, and now what it is to be a professional speculator, to be a pro trader. I mean, these are lifelong dreams. Like, look, this market can give you whatever you're looking for it. I mean, these kind of moves, you only need one or two of them a year, and it can honestly be life-changing. I mean, maybe not permanent, like you're not going to retire on an island somewhere, but I don't know, if you're long enough over a year and you go from 40 to 90, you know, that can give you a lot of runway, right? This move in gold since 2023, it gave me a couple years of runway to try and figure out what I want to do with my life now. Rather, I know what I want to do, but it's kind of strange saying that becoming a professional speculator. But look, it can be done. I did it, and there's nothing unique about me other than I stuck with this. I had the idea, I did the work. And by the way, if you'd like my fundamental work on the gold, also, again, let me know. I've got a lot of stuff to share. I'd love to share it, but it is time consuming, and if no one's looking at it, it's not very rewarding to put all that effort into it. But I have no problem doing it. If even one or two guys say, hey, I'd like to see your fundamental analysis on the gold that I did back in 23 and 24, I've got that. So anyway, that's it, and thanks for watching.